Yeah. Grown Folks Production. In the mix. With the commish, Nate.
All right, everyone. Welcome into Press Pass Live, your weekly OMFL podcast show. I am your host, the Commissioner Nate, and I'm so excited that you are here with me on a Sunday night, a little later than normal, but it's okay. I'm still kind of living in a world where my son doesn't have a car, and so I've still got to be dad and getting where he's got to get. But we are here, and we're going to have a really great time. I have one of my favorite human beings in the whole world right here with me. Let me welcome in our friend D-Wayne. D-Wayne, how you doing tonight, my man?
I'm good. I have my coffee and my beer next to me, and we're talking OMFL football. It doesn't get much better than this.
That, my friend, is one hell of a combination. That is a young man's game. I'd be dead the next day, but I'm excited that you're here. Trey may join us, and so keep your eyes and ears peeled for Trey. But you didn't come here to hear me just kind of ramble and rave. It is late at night. We're going to get right to it. It is prediction time. Season 102 is upon us. We are in week number 2 of the preseason. So one more preseason week. We're going to do a vote on a full no switch. Then we're going to jump right into season 102. And that means we need to give some predictions about what we think is going to happen here in the OMFL. And at the very end of the show, I'm going to let you in on a little bit of insight of how Saints and Sinners are going to be changing just a little bit this year. I did a kind of a preseason week 1 stream, but it was like stupid late at night. It was like 1 in the morning because Raj had a lot going on that day. And so I tried on some things, didn't quite get there, but I'm going to let you know what I'm thinking, and hopefully you'll come hang out with me this year for Saints and Sinners. D-Wayne, are you ready to jump into this, my man?
I'm ready. Let's roll.
Let's jump into it. Let's talk AFC North. I think this is the North. I'm pretty sure this is the North. This is the North. My old eyes can't hardly see that small screen. We got the Ravens and Nipples. He is here. Can't wait to hear exactly what you think about Mr. Nipples. We got Outlaw. He's now over at the Steelers. We've got Denbrew, your OMFL season 101 champion. He's over with the Browns. And we got Little Koch, his good buddy. I almost said best friend, but I don't know if they're best friends, but really good buddy. He's over here with the Bengals. So the Bengals are now losing their championship coach. He's going to the Browns. He's staying in the same division. All kinds of craziness is going on in this division. How you see this one playing out?
I think this is one of your more intriguing divisions for a few things. I think, Outlaw, I think he is going to shape this Steelers team up to what he wants to do. And we've seen Outlaw before. Outlaw has surprised some people back when he used to be the Browns, a few cycles ago. He gets the people in place. Outlaw runs a really, really good defense and a really efficient offense, and he can win some games. And Nipple, if Nipple's engaged, Nipple's one of the best users here. And that's a big if. He's got a lot going on in life. He's moved from literally Puerto Rico to Texas to I don't actually know 100% where he's at right now.
I think he's in
know
Austin,
he's in Texas somewhere.
Maybe Dallas. I don't know. He's somewhere in Texas.
But when he's engaged, he's really into it, and that will hinge on where this division goes. Because I think the Browns and Bengals, man, they're tight. Like you said, the Denbrew was the Bengals last cycle. Koch was the Titans last cycle, or I think he was the Titans or the Colts. He was in the AFC South. But him moving over will make that very intriguing, because if Nipples isn't engaged and Outlaw hasn't quite figured it out, he's got a quarterback position he's got to figure out between Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky. I can't remember the one that got hit with the helmet, but I think he's got 3 quarterbacks to choose from on that cycle. But I think this division this first year comes down to Bengals and Browns. You got 2 great owners there. You got the Bengals and Denbrew. He's got firepower. No matter where he's ever been, he's always played good. But the the Browns are just built to be a great team. Yeah. And the Bengals are built to be explosive with one of the most, I would say the top upcoming quarterback with Burrow, and so much speed with Chase and Mixon. Man, that's going to be a great division. If I had to call it right now, I don't want to get on Koch's bad side because we play week 2.
Uh-oh.
But I would say the Browns. I think this is a division that you could have 2 people come out in the playoffs. I think the Bengals can make the playoffs out of this one, and a lot of hinges on Nipples if he's engaged. But I'm going to go with that. Nipples is busy right now. I'm going to go with the Browns win this division, and the Bengals come out of this division as the AFC wildcard team.
Yep, I agree with everything that you had to say. I think the Ravens are the wild card in this division. Like, what is going to happen with them?
Yep.
How are they going to kind of interact, and what's going to take place with their team? I think the Steelers are going to be, Outlaw's going to be better with the Steelers, right? I just think that he's got a lot going on, so maybe not season one.
He does.
He's got some things to figure out, but hopefully not with the Bills. He can now kind of refocus, get a fresh opportunity, but he is in a hell of a division. Nipples, top 10 player here, not engaged, top 5 player when he's is engaged. Denbrew, an OMFL champion. No, I gave it to you, Denbrew, but OMFL champion nonetheless. Little Koch, 10 to 12 game winner every single season. Little Koch is moving over to his favorite team, and I think that could help. A lot of firepower, a lot of speed. Do they have enough running game and offensive line, though, to fit what Little Koch likes to do? Or was he hand-tied in the Titans, and now he's going to be able to open up things up just a little bit? We're going to have to see. I think the Browns are ready to win team. I think they're the youngest team in the NFL. I don't know if that 100% correlates to what is going to happen here in the OMFL, but he's got a young team. It's got a lot of athleticism, a lot of good playmakers, a little bit of a cap situation he's going to have to figure out, but he's coming off of the momentum and the high of season 101. I like the Browns in this division. I like Ravens and Bengals to be right there. Look for the Steelers to play spoiler late in this one. Would not surprise me if 3 teams from this division get in.
No, I think you're right. I think the Browns, I will say this interesting fact with the way they've structured his contract, and depending on where Denbrew uses his incentives, but I think Watson's cap hit goes from like $10 million to $50 million in year 2. So it'd be awfully interesting to see where Denver goes with that. I do agree with you. I think the Bengals, if Koch can shake them into his form, they can be really scary. They got so much speed. Burrow is just, I mean, he's a superstar in the making. This is a very intriguing division this cycle.
Let's move over to the AFC South. I should have had an OMFL's owners list. I feel like I need a media guide. You know, when you go to, like your favorite NFL team, you buy the media guide outside of the stadium as you move in, and you're like, oh, these are who these players are. That's what I feel like I need right now for the OMFL, because we had so much movement. I think we had like 12 or 13 teams move around. They swapped around. It was just a really crazy thing. What's up, Raj? Good to see you. Thanks, Tim, for hanging out with us. NFC South, we got the Jaguars and Brady. We got the Titans, who are now being ran by the Truth. He moves over, I think, from Los Angeles Rams over to the Tennessee Titans. Houston Texans still being ran by our guy Raj. And then we got the Colts and Booby. If we can get him in, EA is doing a wicked crazy thing where it won't let him in. I'm waiting to kind of hear back. We both have reached out to EA for some answers and waiting to kind of hear if we're going to get any of those answers. And I told him, worst case, we may actually just have to get him to make a brand new name and everything and see if he can get in that way. This is a big unknown of a division. How do you see the AFC South playing out?
Well, it's the top's not as unknown as the rest is. I think we'd be, I sure don't want to give him any bulletin board material, but I think we'd be crazy to say that it's not Brady's division. Yeah. And I think even Raj listening would say it's Brady's division to lose. I mean, Brady's dominated this division. I mean, even when I was in this division with him, me and Brady rotated division championships here. And I think it's Brady's division to lose. Honestly, I think it doesn't matter what his overall is. Brady's going to play Brady style. He runs a very efficient offense and a great defense, and we've seen that's a recipe for success in the OMFL. I think the other 3 teams are in a position to shape themselves. I think the Truth of the Titans, me and him just made a trade. Yeah, I do appreciate him trading a hometown boy to the Cowboys. And so he got a good player in return. I think he'll be able to shake the Titans team up in his own form and fashion. I do think he has a team that can make a run right now with Derrick Henry. It's a very unique build. I don't know if you've ever looked at his build. He's like 94, 95 speed with 88 acceleration. and it's just so crazy the way the players built. But I think the Titans are in a position, they have players that can win right now. We'll see if the truth wants to go that route or if he wants to rebuild. The Texans are a complete rebuild. Roger has one of the toughest rebuilds here. But if there's anybody who can build that team up, Roger has proven that he's a great team builder, and he's willing to take these lumps as the owner with that Texans team. And I think that maybe not this year, but I could see in a season or two that Texans team was surprising people. I mean, it wasn't last year that he upset Jaguars, the back-to-back champion, upset them in the regular season. And so we've seen him win with bad teams. And I think he'll shake that team up. The Colts, like I said, with Boobie, it's a big question mark. He's got great people. He's got Matt Ryan, who's a good bridge quarterback. He's got probably the best running back in the league right now with Jonathan Taylor. He's got Michael Pittman. He's got some good pieces. He's got on the defensive side, he's got Darius Leonard. He's got some very good pieces in place. If Boobie was be able to get in and get engaged, I think I don't think I've played Boobie yet, but he's got the team to compete. But until he gets in and proves himself, it's the Jaguars division, and I think the other three teams are going to shake themselves up, maybe in a season or two, to give Brady a run here.
Yep, I think it's Brady's 100% all the way. I think if we go full no switch, which I have no clue. I haven't got any bad messages, but as we were warming up for the show and kind of getting things rolling, Dwayne's already getting bad no switch messages. So I don't know why people can't just have adult conversations with me sometimes. It drives me a little insane. But I think if we went full no switch, it will make Brady even better. And I think the reason it's going to make him even better is because he has a really great ability to put you in positions to make bad plays.
Yes,
but he has a lot of options. I also think that if we went full no switch, Raj, it's going to take him some time to build that team. I love his rookie quarterback that he's bringing over with him. We even talked about a deal, but I think Raj is just being nice to me because we're buddies, and I want Raj to keep this guy because I think this guy's a player. I just think like Raj is going to take a little time to put some really key pieces on that team, but he is going to shine season 1, and I think by season 2 he's going to be competing. Titans, a bit of an unknown from Truth. I think his job keeps him really busy. I don't think we got to see like the fullest version of Truth when he was in Los Angeles. And so I'm interested to see what happens. Now he's with the Titans. He's got a great running game. He's got he's one of 2 owners that have 2 very good quarterbacks, an NFL rookie and an import. And both guys flipped me the middle finger and said, no, I'm not trading any of those dudes. I'll trade you like this 98-year-old quarterback if you're interested. I'm like, no, not interested. So I don't understand that strategy all the way. And I think both of those teams are going to end up moving those guys, and I'm probably going to miss out. But I'm interested, who does he go with? And how does his offense run? Massive unknown. And then Boobie, massive unknown. The guy is just not super engaged right now and can't even get him in the CFM yet, which if you watch this Boobie, you're going to have to just make a new EA login. I don't know if you have to go the PSN login route, but I think you're going to have to do a new EA login. And Raj is saying it in chat. This is a glitch that happens to a few CFMs, and he's the one that he got caught on, I guess, because he was the last one to join. So give me the Jaguars to win this one. I don't think any of the other 3 teams compete, but it would not surprise me if Raj is right there in week 16, 17, 18, pushing for those last wildcard spots. And then who knows with the Titans? Truth might come out and just like go 12-1 and we're like in week 17 or 16, like, whoa, where'd this guy come from? But on the surface, calling it as we see it right now, this is going to be Brady's. I mean, look at him in the preseason, only giving up 19 points. I mean, the guy is a monster. All right, let's move over to the AFC East. I'm going to take this one first. We've got the Bills, who are now ran by Bill. Still is a tongue twister and a mind bender for me, but Bill is now the Bills. The Patriots, still my guy, Lost Sniper. I love that dude. Just classic, good human being. The Jets is now ran by our guy, Judge. He kind of moved around this offseason. Boobie was the judge. Boobie was the Jets and gave them to Judge. Anyway, you get the picture. And then the Dolphins are ran by the guy, Massimo. He's moving over from the Browns to the Dolphins. I think he likes to find the best out of the box team and just go take that team for the next Madden. So this is an interesting division. I love what Bill does with his team. But there seems to be a learning curve for Bill every Madden or every time there's a big change. And it takes him, 8 to 12 weeks to figure it out. And then when he does, he's good. He's set. He's rolling, right? Lost Sniper, he is super, super focused and engaged and just he knows his team. He knows what it's going to take to win. And he just sticks to I only played him once and I loved it. It's just a really, really good game. Who knows what Judge is going to do? Judge is the most confusing human being in our league, in my opinion. Sometimes he posts messages that I think he hates gaming and Madden, and then sometimes I think he's the biggest fan. I'm just come on, man, help me focus with you. But I got to know him on media days, and he was awesome. And then Massimo with the Dolphins. These are all big hitters, and Judge does not. He's probably at the bottom. He does not have an easy task to win. Lost Sniper, he's kind of traded victories over here in the AFC East. He does not have an easy road to go ahead and win it all. You got Bill with the Bills now and Massimo with all that firepower. Lefty quarterback, he's going to figure that out. He's got the running game, the offensive line, the great receivers. Man, this is going to be a fun division. Give me Lost, though. I'm going to take Lost to win it. And I think at least one wild card comes out of here. Could be like the first division that we covered. Could have two. Would not surprise me if two. I definitely think one's going to come out of here. I like Bill and the Bills to get that wild card spot. Look for the Dolphins to be right there. Look for the Jets to have a solid season. I think it's going to take him a season to kind of figure out who's the quarterback here. What's the defense look like? What's the offensive line look like? How do you see the AFC East breaking out?
Well, I think it's just one of the divisions where I think, honestly, there's three, maybe even every team can compete for this title. Bill has a great team out the box, Josh Allen. The Bills are built to win right now. The Patriots, we've seen Sniper. I think he was the one that upset Brady last year. Not last year. He gave Brady a fit every season, and I think he's proven that he can win in big moments. And he's got a Patriots team who he can shape into his own. He's got some good pieces off the bat. I think he's going to compete for this. The Jets with Judge, it'll be different because I'm so used to seeing Tim with that Jets team.
Yeah.
To seeing Judge, and the Jets are kind of in a rebuild stage. And Judge, I know you talk about Judge. I said leave it to us fellow Cowboy fans to leave everybody mystified with ourselves. But the Jets are a rebuild team. If you want to look at them like that, they got a young quarterback. They got young pieces.
Can I stop real quick? Which is what makes it so confusing. He's not moving. He's bringing in an import quarterback, and then took the Jets because of Zach Wilson, and isn't trading either of them. I'm like, out of all the teams, you should be trying to stockpile picks and players and rebuild that roster. I think he's missing an opportunity.
Well, I think you have to. He can't trade Morris because Morris is a $52 million cap penalty. Yeah. And so Wilson is a $18 million cap penalty.
Judge,
so you kind of stuck
Wilson.
there. Yes, I honestly, that's the only choice you have here. But
this
you got to
is
choose
the only
here.
season. Because if he doesn't do it this season, he can't do it.
Yeah, you got to rebuild. You got to rebuild here or make a win. So you need to trade Wilson for some pieces or do something here. But if it goes up to me, the biggest thing to me is the Miami Dolphins, which Massimo is. You're talking about Massimo is a Dolphins fan in real life.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he is a Dolphins fan. I think him and maybe Ross used to be Dolphins fans. And so when he got to the Dolphins, strategically got to the Dolphins when they got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who are 99 speed and 97 speed. And so I do think this division will bring two people, at least two people. Because I've said the AFC North would bring one, possibly two. I said AFC South was probably going to bring the Jaguars. I don't know with Booby. I don't think Rodgers ready to make that move yet. I think that you just get one team out of there, and I think we get 3 wild card teams now. So you get one team out of AFC North, or one wild card, one winner, one wild card AFC North. I think you'll get at least one. You might get 2 out of the AFC East, but at least one. I think the Dolphins win this division. I think his speed is going to frustrate the shit out of the Bills, Jets, and Patriots. I think he's going to air it out, and like you said, I think Bill's going to take one season to get his guys in. He's got Josh Allen. He's got Stephon Diggs. I think he's got to get some other pieces. I think Bill and the Patriots push the Dolphins for this division. I think the Jets are stuck in kind of nowhere land right now. I think they need to decide if they're going to rebuild, if they're going to build around that star quarterback. They need to, in my opinion, I'm not the Jets owner. In my opinion, you need to trade Wilson away, maybe get some more pieces, and build that team around that new import quarterback. I think it's the Dolphins division. I think the Bills and Patriots push him. Would not be surprised if there's two teams that come out of this division. I think the Jets are a season away from competing. Sorry, I heard my wife get up. But I do think it's the Dolphins division to lose. I think he's got too much speed. If he can deal with Tua's left-handed passing, which has proven to be an obstacle in the past. I think we've heard multiple owners talk about Tua's left-handed passing is an issue. If he can get past that, I think it's the Dolphins division to win. Bill, do not put a hit out on me. I do think the Bills and Patriots are right there. I think any team can win the division, but if I had to choose right now, I think it's the Dolphins with the Bills and Patriots getting one of them getting a wild card spot.
I think it's going to be a really fun division to see exactly how it plays out. Let's go over the AFC West and wrap up the AFC West. We got the Chargers, who are now being ran by our guy Pepper. He gave Colin the Giants. He moved over to the Chargers, and man, that team is set up really well for him. We got Jay Bowles with the Raiders. We got Shocks, however you say it. We got our guy Shocks with the Chiefs, and then we got Glaze with the Broncos. I appreciate all those guys coming and joining me on media days, except for Pepper. He wasn't able to make it. I think he was gone for vacation. Pepper. Man, on paper, the Chargers and the Chiefs. Actually, because now we got Wilson over with Denver. We got the Raiders with Adam. Man, there's some talent, some physical Madden talent in this division. Now, Raiders and Broncos, we even talked about it on media days. These guys are a bit of a hit and a miss depending on their engagement. We've seen both of them make runs. We've seen Glaze and the Broncos get all the way to the OMFL Bowl before. Pepper and what he did last Madden with the Giants, like he was always in the hunt right there at the end, and now he's got a great quarterback. He doesn't have to worry about the quarterback situation. He's got a great running back. He's got playmakers on the outside. He's got a great defense, man. He's got some real players. And then I think going full no switch, if that passes, is going to really benefit the Chiefs because he's got so many weapons. He's going to be able to put pressure on you to kind of make a decision. And if he can get that kind of the quarterback play figured out, he's going to be really good. Give me the Chargers to win this division with all other three teams competing and pushing. I just don't know that right there today that I can call it that any of these teams outside of the Chargers and Pepper will make the playoffs. What do you think?
This will be, like you said, you got four great owners here. Jay Bowles and Glaze are like long tenure guys here. I don't think they've ever been another team since I've been here. Have always been, like you said, they have been hit and miss, not content-wise, but in and out of the chat, but they've always played their games. And when they are engaged, they both have been great players and have made runs. Like I said, Glaze made, I want to say it wasn't last cycle, but the cycle before, he made the championship game versus D-Money. And the Raiders have always been in the mix. I think life just kind of gets in the way there, but he's always a 500 team or better. The Chargers with Pepper, we played tonight in the preseason. Pepper said he's glad he doesn't play me anymore this season. I took that a little personally, hurt my feelings with that one. Me and Pepper have always had a very fun rivalry, at least on my side. Maybe he doesn't see it as fun as I do. But I enjoy playing Pepper, and I think Pepper's in a great spot with the Chargers. He's got a lot of defensive pieces on the team. You got a young Herbert. You got wide receiver options, and you go to the Chiefs. Even without Tyreek Hill, you still have Mahomes. You still have Hardman. You still have Kelsey. This division will come down to it. The Broncos finally have a legit quarterback. The Glazes team's always been the best when he has a franchise quarterback. He has Russell Wilson now, and he got Russell Wilson before he got paid, so which is even better. This division will be fun. This is the division where I said, I think the AFC South's the only division that won't have two teams out of it. This division, I can see having two teams. I'm with you. I think the Chargers win this division just on outright, just talent. I think Pepper plays a very efficient way. If Pepper stays out of his own way, I know we've said this for years now, if he plays out of his own way, he plays great defense. He runs the ball well. and he makes you pay if you come up to that line. He will take shots on you. I think the Chargers win this division, and I honestly think you have 3 teams fighting for this division. I think the Broncos, Chiefs, and Raiders are right behind him, pushing him. The Chiefs have lots of weapons. The Raiders have arguably the best receiver in football right now in Devontae Adams, and the Broncos have a brand new quarterback with a bunch of young pieces. I could see this division being one that in a season or two pushes to where they have a division winner and 2 wild card teams coming out of it, because you have 4 great owners here who can put people in place. The only negative about that is these 4 get to beat up on each other. So somebody loses here, because you can't either you all medal out and all 500 in the division, or you have a bunch of division winners and you have somebody who's like 1-5 in the division. They're pretty much out of the playoffs now. But I do have the Chargers here, and I have you 1 wild card team coming out of this division. This will be a fun division to watch because you have explosive offense just oozing out of the AFC West.
I would say Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos. Here's what you have against you is that Pepper has been playing likes of this guy in this chat and other really great owners in one of the toughest divisions in football.
Yep.
This guy is battle tested. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. Let's move over to the NFC. Oh, hold on one second. We're going back. Hold on. We're going back. Sorry, hit the wrong button. That's what happens. Let's move over to the NFC North. Let me get that lowered down. Thank you. We got the Packers. We got the Vikings, Bears, and Lions. Packers is our guy, Priest. Vikings is now being ran by Mr. Cincy Bird. Big Hurt, his buddy. I think they're both really good buddies. He's moved over to the Chicago Bears. And then Trey, who couldn't join us tonight. Trey, I hope you're okay. I haven't seen any messages from you, so hope you're doing good, buddy. We got Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions. Oh my. The division that no one ever wanted to win for a very long time is dramatically different today than it was 2 Maddens ago, 3 Maddens ago, back when no one wanted to win it, when we were going 500 and sub 500 and still becoming a division winner. This is not the same division, and this is completely taken a turn. The Lions have owned it for quite some time, but we've got some big hitters. Cincyberg, OMFL champion. Big Hurt, if I'm not mistaken, he's definitely a Deuce champion, but he might be an OMFL champion. Maybe not. Maybe he just got deep. Multiple, multi-double-digit win seasons. Those guys are now in your division. And then Priest, look, he just likes to have fun. He gets out, get out there and sling it, but he becomes a different player whenever he's got Clancy, and Clancy changes his game plan. I think he's still slinging it here in the preseason, but I think once the regular season focuses, he's going to get back to Clancy. He's really going to focus. That's going to make him powerful. Man, how do you see the NFC North playing out?
This could be one of the most, I'm trying to think of the word for it, entertaining divisions.
Yeah.
Between, like you said, Cincy, Big Hurt, Priest, and Trey ought to be interesting as this division goes on. You have 4 owners here who have shown they can win. Cincy's won an OMFL championship. Big Hurt has not won an OMFL championship. He has won a Deuce championship, if I'm not mistaken, but he's made it to the NFC championship game before, and he's proven he can win big games. Trey, we know what Trey can do. Trey's won this division, I think, every season the last cycle he won this division.
Maybe the last 2 cycles.
I think so. Since he stepped into the Lions, he's made the Lions from a laughingstock into a perennial contender. Yeah. And Priest with the running game, Priest is scary. That's the bad part. If Priest will lean on that running game and not throw interceptions, Priest can beat a lot of people. This division is going to be very fun to watch. Trey has so much speed. It's ridiculous. Almost like the Dolphins of the NFC. He's got speed galore. If I pull it up real fast, I got it pulled up.
What's he going to do at quarterback?
He's got Goff. I'm kind of curious. He brought...
Yeah.
I thought he didn't bring over nobody. For some reason, I thought he brought over somebody. He's got Goff. He's going to have to figure out a quarterback, but he's got Belton, who he brought over as import, 96 speed. James Williams, 98 speed. And DJ Chark, 94 speed. And he's got another receiver, 93 speed. So I see where he's going with this. He's got lots of speed. He's going to air it out. Always has aired it out. This ought to be interesting. Cincy. Hold on a second. I don't have kids, but I have cats, and they're acting a fool too. He's got speed everywhere, but you got Cincy, who has proven that he can win. And Minnesota has the piece. They have Jefferson, who might rival Adams as probably the best receiver. Jefferson is on a whole nother level. He's got Thielen. He's got Cook in the backfield, and he's got a competent quarterback in Cousins. Green Bay's got A-Rod, and he's got Clancy. The Bears, Hurts got the work cut out for him. We talked about trades early in the cycle, and honestly, I couldn't figure out anybody that off the Bears, that sounds bad, that I wanted to trade for. That was a tradable piece.
Right.
And so I think the Bears are going to take a season. As good as Hurt is as a player, he's going to take a season to get his guys in unless he makes some drastic trades. This comes down to the Lions and Vikings to me. I think the Packers, if they can stay within themselves, will compete. And he can beat anybody on any given day. I just have to see Priest settle down and just run the ball with Clancy and pass off that. If he can stay with that, I'll give him a shot. But until then, it's the Lions and Vikings. I think two teams can come out of this division. Since he's proven he can win, he's got a team ready to win with the Vikings. But until somebody knocks Trey off, and me and Trey have a rivalry for years. Until somebody knocks Trey off, it's Trey's division to be knocked off. Hey, Hurt, Priest, Cincy, y'all can put that on your bulletin board. Dwayne said it's Trey's division until y'all knock him off.
Priest is a lovable character, but that doesn't transition to OMFL wins. And the only thing that does is giving Clancy the ball and not throwing picks. And I do think that he can do that. I do worry, though, does he have enough weapons on the outside? Does he have enough weapons when it comes to just who you're going to get the ball to? Who's Aaron throwing this ball to? And can he stay focused and dedicated enough to the run to correlate to a 12 to 14 win season and a deep playoff run? The Vikings and the Bears, both owners who do have championships here. Kevin was telling us in chat that I do remember correctly. He won one with the 49ers. And so we have multiple OMFL Bowl winners. And then Trey, who literally would give his right arm to get an OMFL championship. I mean, the guy is passionate, dedicated, and focused, and he wants to not only get there, he's been there before, but actually win one. I'm taking the Lions to win this division. Don't love Big Hurt's roster. Think it's going to take him some time to get that roster built the way that he needs it to be for him to win. I don't trust the Packers' consistency, but he's proven me wrong before. But it always comes back to like the long focus. And man, the OMFL season is long, and he'll do it in 6 to 9 game spurts. But man, you got to go all the way. And then Cincyberg has just been, is he dedicated it enough to take time, be patient, and learn Madden 22? Because I've said it on the Press Pass Lives before, it is going to take a learning curve and take time to learn how to do this game properly, stepping up in the pocket, learning the new passing mechanisms. If we go full no switch, not putting yourself out of position. I don't know that we've seen it from Cincyberg to say, yeah, right out of the box, he's going to compete. I also don't know what he's doing at quarterback. I don't remember exactly who he brought over as an import, but I don't think it may have been a quarterback. And so maybe I think he's going with a rookie quarterback, but it's going to take him some time to build. Just a lot of questions there. Give me the Lions. Everybody else, I think, will make things interesting. Wouldn't surprise me if they kind of sneak wins away from each other from time to time, or away from one of the other big kind of competing teams in the NFC. I don't like any of them to make the playoffs even as a wild card. Let's move over to my division, the NFC South, your old division. We got our guy Black Panther with the Panthers. Congratulations, buddy, on that brand new baby. Love to see some pictures if you get time. We got our guy Kobe with the Falcons. We know kind of machine and monster and demon that guy can be. My guy Kevin coming over the Buccaneers. Kevin is his own worst enemy sometimes, but if you look at the preseason, 71 points for him, 13 points against him. Best roster out of the box for Madden 22. Kevin's for season 102, it's all going to come down to Kevin's gameplay with the quarterback, and he's got Tom Brady this year. And then my Saints, man, it's a fun roster, NFL roster. Give it to me. I can't wait to see what my real life Saints are going to do. But Madden-wise, I don't have a quarterback. I might be able to play decent with Jameis, but I don't think I can win with Jameis. Kamara's going to be a problem. All of my running backs are going to be a problem. There's some receivers there that I'm excited to kind of see what they're able to do. And I'm really excited about that defense. And that's going to keep me in most of the games here. Give me the Falcons to win this division, even though I hate his roster. I think he is better. He's light years better than his roster, and that roster will hold him back. I don't think he'll make a deep run in the playoffs, I do think he'll have enough in him to win this division. Would not surprise me if 2 or 3 other teams are pushing for a playoff spot, one of those wild cards. And if 2 other wild cards came out of this division, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I really like the Panthers. We'll see what happens. New baby, new life. We'll see what Kevin can do. Kevin's made a run before. Big Kevin fan. I think he can do it again. How do you see the NFC South playing out?
Once again, another interesting. You have 4 people here who can win this division. Obviously, your Saints have a great roster. Great owner running them. Panthers. Hey, Katz has shown that he made the playoffs. I think his last 2 seasons he was in OMFL. And unfortunately, he ran into me both cycles. So I had to hear this from a friend of mine that I put him out both cycles. And then the Falcons. Kobe. Like you said, his user ability outshines what the Falcons have as a team. And he's got to figure out the quarterback job. I think Riddler will be a long-term quarterback. I think that's his name. And then he's got Pitts. He's got Ridley at wide receiver. He's got some pieces. I personally think Kevin is going to be engaged. I think this is his first season with this Tampa Bay team. Is his best chance to create some separation between y'all. He's got the pieces in place. Because I don't know. I'm not one of the ones. I haven't played the franchise. I haven't went to the next season to see if Brady stays or anything like that. I think this is Kevin's division to lose the first season. I think his team out the box is just so good. I think he's got Julio. He's got Evans. He's got Godwin. He's got Russell Gage at receiver. I think out of the box, I think the Buccaneers, that's his division to lose. We'll see how Kevin handles it. I think this is a division where you've seen 2 teams come out of it. I can't honestly. I think you have 4 teams here who can win. I think you have 4 owners that can win here. I think this, if you want to say a crapshoot in the NFC, this is your biggest crapshoot in the NFC because I think any team can win here because you got a combination of Kevin is a great user, but he's got the great team out of the box all the way down to the Panthers, Saints, all the way down to the Falcons at 79 overall out of the box. But you have Kobe as a user who compensates for that. I do think Kobe might need a season to get his guys in place. I think the Buccaneers win this division. Don't be surprised, though, if 1 or 2 teams out of this division makes the playoffs as a wild card team. I think this division might beat up on each other. That'd be the only negative side effect. But I do think this is the Buccaneers division to lose. I've just seen Kevin win. He won with a horrible Eagles team last year on our side. I think he upset me. He upset Pepper one time. He's won with worse teams. I just think this first season is his season to win, and then he's got to rebuild. He's got to figure out the quarterback situation. He's got aging receivers in Julio. He's got big contracts in Evans and Godwin. This is his division, this season to win, and then he's got to retool, and then it's going to be up to the other 3. But I think he wins this division, and then the other 3 fight for that wild card spot.
It's going to be a fun one. Let's go over to the NFC East. This is the division that I think has the greatest potential, either boom or bust. There's so many questions here. You and your Dallas Cowboys, we know what kind of demon you have been in the OMFL. Multi-time champion, multi-time NFC champion, multi-time NFC East champion, just like championships on top of championships, and that roster hasn't gotten worse. It's gotten better. The Eagles now being ran by Twinkie. He goes over from Tampa Bay to Philadelphia. Him and Kevin flip-flop. I've always said that I think Twinkie is one of the most, if not the most, underrated football player here. His records never kind of equated his gameplay. He was always just like slightly short in Tampa Bay. He's taken over a very talented Eagles team, and I think maybe his favorite team. And then we got Colin moving over from the San Diego Chargers. He broke record after record after record. He would have a couple deep runs. He was in the OMFL Bowl a couple of Maddens ago against Steve Money and kind of has continued to break records ever since. He now moves over to the NFC. He's going to find out real quick like what it's like, but don't look for him to slow down at all when it comes to his record-setting pace. And then Penguins, another multi-time back-to-back champion, moving over from the 49ers to the Commanders, taking over a weird roster at best, but still a very, very talented and good coach who knows how to put athletic teams on the field and one of the best defenses that I think anybody's ever going to see. These are going to set up to either boom or bust. I think as we progress through Madden 22, this is going to be a super fun division. I'm taking the Cowboys, of course, to win it all. I think all the other teams are going to compete. I think the Commanders are a season or two from getting the roster that he needs to have to be able to be to a place that he wants to be. He's going to put a ton of pressure on people. He's going to play a really, really great defense. I think he and I are like, our teams are setting up like to both of our skills very similar. Like, gonna out of the box, he's going to compete because of that defense. He's just got to figure out some questions on offense and look at his scores so far in the preseason. He's 1-1 and only scored 13 points because he's allowed 44. Like, he's a very good player. He's going to get a lot of turnovers and score a lot of points that way. Colin, I'm interested to see, can he put all those weapons together with the Giants? He's not really known for his running game, but I think he's a very good runner. He's bringing over, I think, his talented tight end. He's got some fast playmakers at receiver. He's got a quarterback that's got some things to work on, but he's got some potential in Madden to be very good. I think he's going to compete. We'll have to see what Twinkie can do. Twinkie gets to hit the reset button. He gets to show that he isn't the most underrated, that he actually just was being held back by a roster that didn't fit his scheme and the way he likes to play. You get to hit the reset. Cowboys are winning this division. I don't see any other teams like being able to really push you. I think there'll be some interesting games, but I don't see them in season 1 really pushing you. I do see at least one wild card coming out of this division. Talk about your own division. How do you see this one playing out?
I think it's interesting. I think you hit a lot of good points there. I think of the Commanders, you talk about them first. I think he's a quarterback away from competing. And Penguins has won, obviously. He's proven he can win here. And I just think with Carson Wentz at 73 overall, we've shown this cycles that you get punished if you throw bad passes or if you don't have a good quarterback. And I think that's the only thing holding him back. I think the Commanders have some people in place. I think he's, like I said, I think he's got a young one, Sam Howell at quarterback there, who, if it was me, I would probably start him day one and just build up. He's not much worse than Wentz. He's cheaper. He's 8 years younger. I think he's a guy who you could build with. I think the Philadelphia Eagles with Twinkie, I played Twinkie last cycle. He gave me a good run. It was a good game.
He's a good player, man.
They have a good roster. He's got Hurts. He's got some pieces in place. He'll be interesting. I think he's our wild card in the division. And I think Colin with the Giants, he's torn. I seen him trade away Kenny Golladay. I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to rebuild. Is he retooling? Colin's won with worse than what he's got right here. Colin is not going to tank, but I'm kind of curious to see what he's doing on building this team. This cycle, I honestly think this first season comes down to Commanders and Cowboys. I think Penguin, just with user skills, is a great player. I think he can win with Wentz or win with whoever he has a quarterback. I just think that's the tiebreaker between the Cowboys and Commanders, is the Cowboys have Dak at 90 overall. The Commanders have Wentz at 73 overall, and I think that makes a huge difference. The Eagles are the wild card here. The Giants are going to win games, but I think Colin, he plays such the long game. I think he's going to build that team to where he wants it to be. He's got to figure out what he's going to do at quarterback. He's going to stick with Daniel Jones. The Giants have drafted well the last couple of years. I think he's maybe a season away. And I know I'm giving him bulletin board material, but I think the Giants are a season away. I think he gets an off season. They have a lot of money to spend. He's got a lot of young players. But this first season, I think, comes down to the Cowboys and Commanders. And like you said, I think this is going to be a division with two teams coming out of it.
Moving over to the NFC West as we wrap this thing up. Give us one fact about Dawson that nobody knows.
His middle name is Shelby, Dakota Shelby Dawson.
Like the car?
Yes, like the car. I've known Dakota since he was like 3 years old. So I tell people I've known Dakota since almost before he could talk. So that's a good fact.
It's a cool middle name, too. I was hoping you'd say one limb was longer than the other or something like that. Our guy Dawson, he is back, man. I love this guy. I'm so glad that he's back. We got to get him. That's the old Press Pass Live crew. It was Dawson and D-Wayne and me and Maniac, and it was a fun crew back in those days. We got to get him to come join us one night. He's taking over the Arizona Cardinals. Our guy Tim has moved over to the Rams. D-Money taking over the 49ers, and I felt exactly how I felt when he took over the Cardinals a couple Maddens ago. I feel like, how do we continue to give this guy, a young quarterback on a rookie deal, a fast, athletic defense that he can import a couple cornerbacks over, and just a no-cap situation? Just like, why? How do we do this? But D-Money, he's over with the 49ers. Then our guy Duvall, he's taking over the Seattle Seahawks. A bit of a rebuild there. He's got some work cut out for him. How do you see the NFC West playing out?
Another fact on Dawson, by the way, he was an All-State linebacker his senior year.
Wow.
Because built like a miniature Brian Urlacher is how he's built in high school.
Look, my
He's a lot better
guy's
football
only
player
given
than I
up
was.
6 points in the preseason.
Yeah, that division in general is going to be interesting because I think it comes down to 2 teams right now. I think you have 49ers and Cardinals. I think Tim with the Rams, he kind of talked about it today. Offensively, they are kind of limited. I think in real life they were carried a lot by that defense.
Yep.
I think they made the plays they need to make them. But he's got Cam Akers coming off of a torn ACL. He's got Matthew Stafford aging. Which if I was you, Tim, I would go ahead and offer Trey. Trey might give you the boatload for Stafford.
And what a
but you got
terrible
Kupp.
cap situation. Ugh.
Oh, it is, and he's got the defensive side. The defense is really good. You got Ramsey, you got Donald, you got pieces in place. I think the offense is what he even said today. The offense might be what holds him back, and so in the Seahawks, I was actually that's why I was pulling him up real fast. I was gonna see. I think he got the pieces in game, didn't he? Yeah, because he's got 2 first-round picks this year.
And he bought over a quarterback import, I think.
He's got 2 first-rounders and 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders. He brought over a 21-year-old quarterback who is player tag quarterback of the future.
Yep.
It looks like he's going to be a good piece. So I do think it'll take the Seahawks a season. I think that's a rough division to walk into with Dawson, Tim, and D money in your division. And so I think he's going to take a season to get who he needs in place. It might be hopefully he makes it through the season. That's going to be a hell of a learning curve in that division. I think Tim can compete with anybody. He's got to figure out on the offense side of the ball. I think if he lets the defense play for him, just don't screw up on offense, and the defense will win you some games, Tim. But I think it comes down to 49ers and Cardinals. I think the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, I've told Dawson, I said, you're going to have to use Kyler's legs to your advantage this year. I said, there's a reason Kyler's like 90-something speed. So use him. You got some pieces in place. I think he sheds quite a bit of old money after this first season. But he's going to need every ounce of it to compete against the 49ers team who has Trey Lance, who's in his second season, who D-Money will turn him into the next great thing. And the 49ers have a great defense. If you haven't looked at the 49ers trainer block, he's trying to trade everybody that's any good off his team. And
he's trying to trade all 1-year contracts. Go look.
Yes, yeah, pretty much, yes.
I caught on real quick. I was like, oh, I see what this guy's doing.
He's not a fool. He's gonna shed these. He's gonna get what he can get back on these
crazy
these,
smart.
These
I hate that guy.
Expiring contracts. He's got a young quarterback who on a cheap deal for 3 more years, and if he uses incentive, he might be for 4 years. It's a 49ers division to lose. I mean, I think that you could say that if it don't matter who you had in his division. It's D-Money's division to lose. Yeah. And we've seen D-Money. We've seen some cracks in, the Iron Man armor the last couple of years. He tried to win the last season we were here. And I think I can't remember who he lost to in the playoffs. It was you. You beat him in the playoffs.
That would be me.
And you beat him in the playoffs, and he's shown that there are some cracks in his armor. But it's still his division to win. It's actually his whole NFC to lose. I'll say this outright for anybody. We'll just put a target on D-Money's back. It's his NFC to lose. So I give him this division, and I know Tim's in the chat, and Tim might tear me up. I give Dawson. You might call it bias. I give Dawson probably playing for a wild card out of the division. But this will be a fun day. It's a 3-team division. Seahawks are rebuilding. Tim, if I was you, I would offer, as much as I don't want to see Trey with Stafford, I would go talk to Trey about trading him Stafford, rebuild a little bit. You got the defense. I would get rid of that quarterback and go ahead and go with the little youth factor there to go with your defense. But it comes down to 49ers and Cardinals. Cardinals have the pieces to compete. We've seen Dawson before. He made it to OMFL Bowl his last season here. He can win games, but it's D-Money's division to lose, and I think the Cardinals get a wild card spot.
Look, Dawson Bowl was not that long ago. Dawson, when he was at the Titans, he was a very good player. When he had the Rams many Maddens ago, he was a very good player. I think I was the Cards, he was the Rams. We had really classic games way back when. He is a extremely good defensive player. So that makes me wonder, is he going to need a little time to build the Cardinals defense to fit his style? Because when he's at his best, he's running the ball, he's protecting it with his quarterback, he's playing great defense. And I just don't know enough of the Cardinals roster to know, does he have that day one? I think he's going to be very good because he got playmakers on offense, especially with that quarterback. The Rams and Tim, when I've seen Tim play the best football, he's running the ball exceptionally well. He's checking it down to really fast, athletic tight ends. So if he can stay focused and not try to put up 100 points a game, play really great defense, as you said, and just protect the ball, he'll be able to compete with that roster. Like, you're going to pick up 3 wins just because the roster is great. Like, you just have playmakers. Aaron Donald's going to go make a play.
The beast.
You know, you're going to make some kind of crazy throw with Stafford. Jalen Ramsey's going to get 6 pick-6 one game. You'll just win games you're not supposed to, maybe, because of your gameplay, just because you have a talented roster. And so if he can focus, I think he can push for a playoffs. This is all about the 49ers, right? The Seahawks, a rebuild mode. He's set up for season 103, 104, 105, right? When we go on the run, that's when that team is going to be set up. He's got the quarterback. He's got Metcalf. He's got some pretty decent running backs. He's going to build the offensive line. He's going to rebuild that defense, but he's got the picks to kind of do it. So I think the Seahawks are going to be there. But this is all about the 49ers. They're winning the division. I think the Cardinals can push him. I think if we go full no switch, now this is a big guess because I thought everybody was enjoying it, and I don't know. Right? People are telling Wayne that maybe they didn't, so we'll have to see. But if we go full no switch, I think it does drop the ceiling and raise the floor, and so it gives Dawson an extra opportunity to make plays on D money that maybe weren't there before, because it does open up the playbook. It brings back all kinds of plays that you normally can't run when there's a switch, because guys can switch and go make a play pretty quickly on you. And so, look, the 49ers are going to dominate. He's bringing over cornerbacks. He's moving a bunch of one-year guys. He's going to collect a bunch of picks. He's going to collect players with multiple years. He's going to have tons of cap. This guy's set up for the long haul in this Madden. Does he toy with us, win the first championship in 102, and then take the rest of Madden off and go undefeated in the regular season? For my wrestling fans, though, Chris Jericho beat The Rock and Stone Cold in one night. Now, I didn't win the championship, but I did beat D-Money and D-Wayne in the exact same playoffs back-to-back, and then barely lost to Denbrew. But anyway, I lost, and so I can't say I got it all the way, but I was right there. This is all about D-Money. I do like Dawson to be right there with his Cardinals. I think Rams, he's going to have to show us. And then the Seahawks, I think he's a year or two from building that team to kind of fit him. Whew, and that is how we see it. We're going to do this as we get later in the season. But give me your OMFL Bowl predictions and your OMFL Bowl champion.
Whew. OMFL Bowl predictions. That's tough. Honestly, I'll go right now. I'll go the Browns of the AFC. I think he's got a team built to win. He's got defensive players, he got offensive players, and you got an owner in Denbrew who's looking to repeat. And this will be actually his third OMFL Bowl in a row. Sorry, that's the beer and coffee talking. In a row. So the Browns and Denbrew of the AFC. The NFC is a little tougher. I'm trying to throw you a wild card here. I'll go with Kevin in Tampa Bay. I think he's got a team out of the box. If Kevin just doesn't mess it up and plays Kevin football, I think he can win with Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay and Cleveland, I think that would be one hell of an OMFL Bowl. And I know that, like I said, I'm putting a lot of pressure on you, Kevin, because there are a lot of NFC teams vying at it. But I'd be a very interesting bowl to see, because I think Kevin could come out of it. I think the other divisions he'll come out of that NFC South division so battle tested between the Falcons, Panthers, and Saints, that I could see him making a run in the playoffs. And I can't ask for a better, OMFL Bowl than Denbrew versus Kevin, Browns versus Buccaneers.
For entertainment purposes, and because my heart wants to also pick some kind of weird team who has a chance and an opportunity, but my head just won't let me do it. Give me Brady and the Jaguars from the AFC. Give me D-Money and his 49ers the other way. Brady and the Jaguars at AFC, D-Money and the 49ers out of the NFC. I think Brady is going to give him a really good game, but he's going to come up just short. I think D-Money wins OMFL season 102 championship, and then he retires for the rest of this Madden and lets some of us get a couple of them. I think the NFC championship is going to be Cowboys and 49ers. I think the AFC Championship is going to be Brady and Denver. And boy, Brady, he's got one in his crawl still from season 101 where he lost, I think, by 1 point on some kind of. I didn't watch it.
Extra points.
Yeah, something happened weird, and he lost by 1 point. And so I think he's got it in him. And I think, as you said, the Browns are going to make it from the AFC. He is clipping that and replaying that as his ringtone and in his iPod and his cassette player over and over and over again to just kind of give him some extra motivation. Last question, then we're going to get you out of here. Can you take anything away from the preseason? Like, can you look at preseason records or scores? Is there anything that you can glean from the preseason as you start to see what season 102 is going to look like?
Oh, well, I think we talked about it before. I think with this, if the no switch stays, I think you're going to see a lot more variety and diversity in your offenses. I think you're going to see a little more flashiness. I think you're going to see plays that used to not work would work. And so I hope guys take that in consideration. I know that, like I said, I've heard a few people were hit and miss on the swap, switching on defense. I see the negatives. I think the pros outweigh the negatives. I've ran plays that, hey, they sound so cool in real life. They sound so cool in Madden until you run them against somebody and they just get stuffed for a 4-yard loss and you never run them again the rest of Madden. So seeing that side of the offenses, I think, will be interesting. Watching a few games I've seen, I think the parity this cycle is what I'm hoping. I think the parity is going to be there. I think you're going to see some teams that I'm not going to say didn't compete, but weren't, in the running for division championships and
You're
conference
so
championships.
nice.
I think you'll see that. I think I've seen, like I said, just watching the few things. I watched Shocks fan and the Commanders Penguin play the other night, and I seen the Panthers play the Commanders the other night, and I think your parity is going to be there. I think if guys figure it out, I think the parity is going to be there. I think that's what I'm interested to see. And I think, from day one, since I've been here, I think you've preached that about parity. I think you've wanted to see parity. You don't want to see the same champions every year. I think you want to see parity. And I think this Madden, I think if they play within themselves, I think you'll see parity that you haven't seen in the OMFL before.
Yep, I 100% agree. And I also think that's exactly why the NFL is set up the way that the NFL does. That's why they are a multi-billion upon billion-dollar business, and why they're the world's favorite sport. I think soccer technically is, but the NFL is just taken over.
Right.
It's definitely the America's pastime now here in America. And I think it's because every season, today on September the 5th, on a Monday, Labor Day, every NFL fan in the country thinks that their team can win a championship. Yeah. Now, some think everything's got to go their way and it's got to be perfect, right? The Texans, those kinds of teams. But everyone feels like this is the year. We're going to put it, Mills is going to be an MVP candidate. And we're going to make it all the way. And that's what we want in the OMFL. I don't want the teams who don't win a lot to think I'm never going to win here. I want everybody to, if you put in the time, the effort, GM, build a team that everything is fair game and you can go out there and win a championship. And I think this year is going to show us a lot about what teams are real and what teams have a little bit more work to do. Man, thank you for joining me. One last little tidbit. So Saints and Sinners is changing. I don't watch a lot of streams. That's not fair. I don't like casually watch for entertainment. Sometimes I'll put stuff on when I'm working just for like background noise. If I get tired of listening to music or whatever, or if I don't want to like listen to a podcast, I really want to focus and I just want like noise on. I'll watch some streamers. Plus, I like watching big streamers just to see their production value. What's out there? What are people trying? What are they doing? Streaming has changed the way I watch TV and movies and everything. Like video editing, all this has changed the way I watch entertainment and really instead have watched for techniques and strategies and the ways that people do things. And so for Madden, whenever you type Madden 23 on Twitter, on YouTube, I just find them boring. Nothing feels like super engaging. Even these big time streamers, unless you're, a world top 10 or professional, Madden player, there's not a lot out there that's really good quality production stuff. Most of it is just a rectangle on the side or the bottom and a guy cussing and ranting and raving and breaking controllers. And that's never going to be my gig. And so I've been like, okay, like how do we do something that's different and just like different than every other stream that's out there? And also that like guys here would find super entertaining. And so I tried it last preseason game. Didn't 100% work because, well, I was really tired and it was 1 a.m. But like, I'm going to do my Saints and Sinners as Nate, the coach of the Saints. And so I am going to coach the game. I'm the play caller. I'm going to talk to my quarterback. I'm just going to try to have some fun with it. I'm going to do a pre-game press conference, a post-game press conference, and I'm just trying stuff to do it different. So I want to hear from you as you come hang out with me on Saints and Sinners. Let me know if you like it, don't like it, and we'll try something else. I don't know. We're just trying something different and hopefully produce something that's fairly entertaining for you. So I can't wait to see how season 102 plays out. By the time we come back next week for Press Pass Live, we're going to be in probably week 2 already. It's going to be rocking and rolling. So we'll start to get some early results and see like what's what and who's who and lots of big things coming up. So get your incentives in. I still have to do mine. Get that week 3 game in when we advance here in the next like 24, 48 hours. And then let's get a vote up for full no switch on defense. And let's see how things go. D-Wayne, thanks for hanging out with me. Don't be a stranger. Keep coming hang out with me. And let's see how season 102 plays out.
All right, guys. Let's have a good season.
There we have it. All right. Guys, I love you. You matter. I appreciate all of you in chat hanging out with me tonight. Make sure that you smash the like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Come be a part of the Grown Folks family. It's where adult gamers go to make connections and play games. Come hang out with us. GrownFolksOC.com. GrownFolksOC everywhere. Any social media, anywhere where you're looking for content. Well, I shouldn't say that because we don't have like, all those other crazy TikTok. I can't. I'm too old for all that stuff. So anyway, come hang out with us here on YouTube. If you're looking for a place to play, if it's not Madden, if it's one of these shooters or any other game, if you play it, we got a group of people that play it. Come make friends. Stop playing with randos, angry kids, and people with no mics. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Until then, I love you. Peace.
Smash that like and subscribe.